Hi, in this video I'm going to do a review on GIMP 2.8 because I make a lot of tutorials on GIMP, and before I start I just want to say that I love GIMP. I'm happy that I can use it. I want to say thank you to all the developers, and everything negative that I'm going to say is more like a constructive criticism and not me hating on it or something like that. I'm going to compare GIMP to commercial software, and also I'll talk about how GIMP 2.8 has improved or not since 2.6. First, a few words for those who are watching this but don't know what GIMP is. GIMP is a software that you can edit your digital photographs, create graphics for the web, you can create web banners, you can also animate them, or you can create digital art. It's fully functional, fully featured software, and it's free. There is no paid services or you have to upgrade to some kind of other version to get all of the functions and features. No, it's completely free and also open sourced, which means you can edit the source code. Now let's compare GIMP to commercial software, and this is really hard to do because for GIMP you pay nothing, and for commercial software sometimes you pay hundreds of dollars. But if we put money aside, the truth is that commercial software will always be, is and always be better than free open source software like GIMP. Now a lot of people may come out and say anything that can be done in commercial software can also be done in GIMP, and they're probably right, but at the cost of a lot of time, because in commercial software we have a lot of tools. These tools have a lot of features that allow you to do things with just few clicks of the mouse that here in GIMP may take a lot of time. So yes, you may be able to do anything here, but it will take a lot of time to do that. After all, this is a raster based software, which means that you work with a grid of pixels and every pixel can be edited, and you do have the tools to do that, but it will take you a tremendous amount of time to do things that in commercial software, like I said, can be done in a few clicks of the mouse. But for better or worse, money are a factor in our lives and also in our choice in a software. So commercial software is a choice for people that make a living out of creating, let's say, graphics for the web, or editing images for magazines, or creating ads, or any kind of work that is involved with a lot of competition to create the best product with in a very little time. And of course, for people who can't afford it, that money is not a problem for them, even if they are just editing their family photographs. The choice will be commercial software. And of course, GIMP is perfect for people who can't afford it or just won't pay hundreds of dollars for a software like this, for people who just want to edit their photographs or create some graphics for the website, and of course anything else you want to do. Like I said before, you can do almost anything here in GIMP that you can do in a commercial software. It will just take you more time and also a lot of thinking to figure it out how to do it, because unlike the commercial software, some of the tools here lack some of the features that you can see in a commercial software, and this may give you a hard time figuring out exactly how to do something and get a good result. So bottom line, it's really hard to compare GIMP to a commercial software. One is paid, the other one is free, and it pretty much depends on for what are you going to use a software like this. Now I also want to compare GIMP 2.8 to 2.6, and not so much compare them, but talk about the direction that development of GIMP is heading to. And I have to say that I'm a little bit disappointed, and the reason for that is that now the development of 2.8 took 3 years, and I feel like a lot of that time is been spent to switch things around and doing something like a facelift to make the software look more modern, but very little is done to actually improving the tools, adding new features. I'll start with new features that I like. For example, grouping layers, very useful. Grouping brushes also. These new options here that allow you to reset options separately. Also the big brushes. Before in 2.6 brushes were really small. Improvements in the text tool. Also this single window mode, very useful. The cage transform tool, which was missing from GIMP, and now it's here, even though it's like a little baby in diapers compared to the tools, the cage transform tools in the commercial software, but still here now. Also a new feature has been added in the brush tool, and there are other small changes like regrouping the layer modes here to make them in groups depending on how they affect the image. And of course I'm probably missing some of the other useful changes. Now let's talk about the things that I don't like. One of these things is most users don't like is this moving the save as option that before in 2.6 allow you to save in different file types. Now it's been moved to export, and of course probably this is more correct to say, but this is giving a really hard time for all the GIMP users that are being used to this and go here on autopilot and now have to teach themselves again to go here, and this is really frustrating, and I personally don't see why this has been made. I mean, like I said, it's probably more correct to be like this, and when you do export, I think that it doesn't ask you to flatten the image when you, let's say, export to JPEG or to export it, and this kind of saves some time, but apart from that I don't really see any use of this. Also in the text tool, the option to text along path, now it's been moved on the text layer, so you have to right click here and find this option here. Another change that it's to me absolutely unnecessary and confuses users. Also here to Windows dockable dialogues, you can now call them undockable dialogues, because if you click here you see that they automatically get docked here. Before it was they used to float around here and you can use it, close it after that, or you can dock it here, but now they're automatically going here. Even if you close your options here, I showed that before, I'm not gonna show it again. Let's show it. If you close the two options for some reason, go to Windows, two options here, and you see it's right here now. So a lot of switching around, kind of like just to say we did something new, but you know, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. And here these sliders are really hard to work with. You have to get this value step, I think it's called, to be able to move this, but you don't know where you're gonna get it. They're going to fix this in the next update, but I mean, why didn't anybody saw this when they were releasing this version? I mean, like I told one of my subscribers, I feel like the developers are not using GIMP at all, because if you use this for just a few minutes you realize that there's something wrong with this and it's not made right. But of course they said they're gonna fix this, which is good. Also the text tool. Now if you remember before, if you put your mouse over here you'll be able to move this. Now you have to hold down the Alt key to do that. This is also a change that I don't see why it's made. And here this where you can choose the fonts from the on canvas text editor, you don't have any drop down menu, which makes this pretty much useless. You have to write something in so you get the fonts, and of course you need to know the name, and a lot of us want to just use the drop down menu so you can choose the font with a little preview here. So a lot of switching around options and not much work done to actually improve the tools and add new features. For example, the blur sharpen tool. Sharpen tool is still completely useless. I have a tutorial about that blur sharpen tool, and I show there how you can use one of the filters in the clone tool to be able to use a brush and sharpen. But the tool here, again, completely useless. And like I said, text tool, a little bit improvement. New tool here, some improvement to the brush tool and other little improvements, but overall for 3 years not much work done, and mostly spent on things that, for example, this wonderful new icon for desaturating here. This is one of the new features in GIMP, a new icon. So bottom line is that 2.8 is a lot better than 2.6, but it will be very hard for users that are used to 2.6 to kind of get used to 2.8. And yes, the software looks better, it's improved, but also for 3 years I expected more improvements and new features on the tools. But after all, this software is free, and the people who work on developing it are doing it without getting paid, so we have to be grateful that we are able to use the software like this without paying for it. So I hope you like this review. Let me know in the comment section below. I make a lot of tutorials in GIMP. You can subscribe to my channel if you like. That's it for now. Bye.